The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hello and welcome back. It's Julie from Joy with Julie. We are back to record for Joy, Optimism, and You, and we have an amazing guest today. We have Dawn Gallahue, and I'm so excited because she goes by the Enlightened Dawn. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Of course. Glad to have you in the studio. So, Dawn, it is summer, and I got to tell you, just getting back into the swing of things. I had an amazing trip. I was away for 3 weeks to Europe. I went to Italy and Portugal.
That's amazing. Was it awesome?
So great. So many experiences. We definitely ate our way through Italy, and I do not regret that at all. I felt so amazing when I came back. Didn't gain weight. We walked a lot, but the food is just so much healthier.
So much.
Yeah.
So much better.
So, yeah. So I have to be more cognizant of what I put in my body here because I just want to match that energy and how good I felt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you're here. So let's start off with, tell us a little bit about the Enlightened Dawn and what you bring to the world.
Sure. So the biggest thing that I'm so lit up about lately is my Coming Home to You program. So that was a 10-month program. I first launched it last year in September. So we went September to June. So almost like the school year, right?
Yeah.
And that 10 months, it's kind of like that whole birthing cycle time period too. So the whole picture of the course is coming home to you, your higher self, your intuition, and learning some different tools and tricks along the way to kind of help ease through life a little bit more, ways to deal with the challenges. And the biggest piece of it was once a month we come together with a small group and we meet for a day of ceremony, learning, tea time and snacks and joy. So
phenomenal.
It's really, we all need to focus on ourselves and take the time to really connect within, but we need community so desperately as well. So I designed it to be a small group, just for that safety element and that just container of trust, so we can really get deep and really be able to share and cry and laugh and do everything in between with that. So that's my number one wonderful thing, which I'm going to start again this September.
So I really love that because from what you said, you tap into some things, you have a lot of wisdom. With so many people working from home and not going into an office.
Yeah.
And even when they do go into the office, there's a lot less people because the other people are working from home. So everyone that I've met, male and female, have spoken to me about just needing something else, needing community, needing connection, right?
Yes.
So the needing connection, we know food brings people together easily when you bring a group of people that don't know each other, right?
Yeah,
build community.
Absolutely.
And then, we're getting older. So our kids are getting older and don't need us as much, right? We have people that are sending their kids off to college. Lots of people, there's this shift to their family where they're taking care of, a parent, right? An older person that's not doing as well, right? That needs some care and attention. And I like that coming home to you, getting back to you and what sparks you and what brings you joy and what makes you the person that you are, right? Giving back to yourself.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
I love
if I'm
that.
being honest, I did this really for me because this is what I wanted. I wanted to come together in community. I wanted to come together in sacred space and learn and connect and be with people. It is open to men or women, but usually it's the women that show up. So, and it's nice to gather like that. So that was kind of my thing. And I wrote the whole contents of the program. So every month is a different subject of spirituality. So we started with stepping into the temple. So your body and your home. We moved into some ancestral work, grief work before the holidays. We do that in November
Smart.
to get everyone
Perfect
geared
timing.
up.
Smart.
Yes. We dove into the energy body and our energy system, the chakras, the aura, and all of that. Sound healing and vibration.
And you know what? I am super big on vibration and keeping my vibration high. And I have learned in the last year how there's so many things I can do. It's not just blasting music and bringing it up through music because I love music, but there's a lot of things you can do to, number one, protect your energy,
Yes.
but then also we're human beings, right? So things
Yeah.
affect us. It's a heavy world out there. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
So when those things come in, you can move the energy through. You can get your vibe up. And I'm very big on high vibe and being a happy person and living with joy, you know?
Yeah, and there's so many ways to do that. And I know right now the world is very heavy. There's a lot of stuff going on, which we're not going to get into. We're focusing on joy today.
Yeah.
But we can't
But
ignore.
we have to
we
have
can't
to honor
ignore
that is
that it's happening.
We're going
right?
through such a wild time, right, in history.
Yes. And at the same time, yes, we see so much chaos and fear-based stuff that's happening that's very real. But at the same time, I've been talking to a lot of people, a lot of my clients and just people that I talk to in general. And, for a while, even myself, I had to kind of go through this process of I was feeling guilty for being happy when there's so much going on, right? And I know I'm not alone in that. How can I go out and have this wonderful day when there's so much suffering happening to so many people? But I sat with it for a while and I came to the conclusion that we as humans, we owe it to humanity to find joy every single day that we can.
For sure.
Even if it's just a small, simple moment, but we have to balance some of that energy too. So if we're thinking about it on the small scale, we should, as an individual, find some joy and light in our day. But on the big scale, we have to offset some of that negative energy.
And
right?
it's such a ripple effect.
Yes.
So just by smiling at a stranger or
Yes.
complimenting someone when you're out and about in your day
Absolutely.
brings that positive energy.
Absolutely.
And then they pass it on. So it is super
Yes.
key.
Yes.
Yeah. The light sharers have to be the light sharers,
Yes.
but they also have to have space so that they can feel what they feel, because you can take on other people's energy, right?
Yes.
But you don't
absolutely.
want to be fitting in with everyone else or the most of that's living in fear-based and scared and worrying about.
And I'm not
things.
talking toxic positivity over here. We're not sticking our heads in the sand. We're not ignoring the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
We are committing to the fact that I am still a living, breathing human being.
For sure.
Joy strengthens our soul. And joy gives us the energy to go out and do the thing. So if we're going to go out and advocate and we're going to, go out and fight the bad stuff, we need to be replenished. We need to be filled up. We need to raise that vibration. If we're looking at the big battle of good versus evil, we got to bring that light energy.
So I know that we're gonna have people that listen to this, right? And they're gonna be like, but I'm not a Julie, right? I don't wake up and not need caffeine. So I want us to think about and share some easy things. And I think it's really important when people tune in to Joy with Julie that they walk away with something they learn. And something as simple as I like to wear my favorite flip-flops in the summer.
Yes.
All summer long.
Yes.
When I decided what I was wearing.
I love them. They're very cute.
And they're comfy. I'm all about comfort.
Yes.
But I was like, you know what? I do wild color combinations. I'm wearing a light pink dress with a bright yellow shirt today, but that wild color combinations, that sparks joy, and it makes me feel enthusiastic throughout the day.
Yes.
Because when I glance at my clothes, it brings me joy, so it's does that make sense?
I have a funny story for you.
Tell me.
So this morning I'm getting ready,
Yeah.
and you had told me it's a black background. So I'm all right, I'm not going to wear my usual black. I do color it up too, but
Yeah.
So I'm all right, I'll go with white, but I needed a little flair too. So I'm okay, where's my joy? So I'm I want to wear my Snoopy underwear today.
Yes.
Nobody's going to know that. And
Yes.
I never thought I was going to be
Snoopy
sitting
freaking
on a
underwear.
podcast talking about my underwear. I would say no way, but here we are.
Can I just tell you that since I was 2 years old, I've been obsessed with Snoopy.
Okay.
So
That's
somebody's
so funny.
channeling something cool that we were supposed to connect and do our thing this week. And
That's so funny.
I totally freaking get it because nobody can see that you're wearing your Snoopy
No,
underwear.
but I know.
You put it on, and just putting it on
Yes.
brought you joy.
Happiness is an inside job. So I
Oh
pulled
my
out one
God.
pair and put it on.
My
And they're
God.
fairly new, by the way. And then
Yeah.
one pair was ripped. And I'm like, but I really want to wear my Snoopy
What?
underwear. But I really don't want to wear ripped underwear. So I looked in the drawer, and there was another clean pair of
Oh
Snoopy
my
underwear.
goodness.
So I wore those. And I do have Snoopy on the back of my car. I'll have to show you when we leave.
Phenomenal.
Which that was
So-
$1.50. I got this little Snoopy sticker to
freaking
put on the
love it.
back of my new car, new to me
Yes.
car. And it was like after Valentine's Day. So it was in the sale
Oh,
pile.
I
It
love
was
it.
$1. And I'm
Yes.
like, here's a little dollar of joy for myself. I'm going to slap the Snoopy
And then you
sticker
know that
on
that's
the
your
back of my
car.
And then
so
I can
it's
find
easy
my
to
car.
identify your cool car too, right? So it's helpful and it sparks joy.
Yes.
All right, going back to the ripped underwear, girl. Like we got to talk about that for a moment. So the average person would get the underwear and throw it away and be like, whatever, and just put on their black or tan or boring underwear, right?
Or wear the rip.
Or wear, true. Yeah, that's true. Or wear it with the hole. That would have made me uncomfortable, I feel like,
Right.
though. So that's resilience, girl.
Yeah.
You, like, if you actually break that apart and you break your decisions apart, that totally makes me know that you're resilient, you're an optimist, you are a joy seeker. Because in the quick decisions that we make in the morning, right, getting
Yeah.
ready, like, you could have been like, all right, whatever, and just put on the boring pair. But you were like, you knew what you needed.
Yeah.
So you went looking and you found the other part. I freaking love
Yeah.
that. You didn't give in to the joy stealer. Like, there are joy stealers. There are things that come along and, like, we have a decision. We have
Yeah.
decisions to make and we're constantly making decisions. But you can power through a little bit more, or you can just be like, hands up, whatever. That's it. I'm just going with the boring, right?
Yeah.
But the boring doesn't provide you with that, like, joy and
I needed that
happiness.
little, today,
Yeah.
you know?
That
That's
is
what did it. I don't know
awesome.
why.
I
like,
love it. I
you know,
love it. I'm going to think of your Snoopy underwear example now when I share some other stories with people. That's good stuff. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I feel
love
like
it.
we've been conditioned that to get happy or to find joy or to be happy, we have to have XYZ. And usually it comes to like, buy this, buy that. And it's like,
That's
yes, I
spot
did
on.
buy these underwear, but like, it doesn't have to be this big grand purchase. It doesn't have to be the house and the boat. And
It doesn't
the
have to be like the name brand. Sometimes.
Yeah, all these fancy things. It can be simple. And quite honestly, if we really take pause for a moment and think about what are the things that have sparked the most joy in our life over time, if you really look, it's the little things. It's the simple things.
And it's the things we don't usually pay for. It's the free things.
Yes.
Like, if you hang around with little kids,
Yes.
little kids will
Oh my
remind
gosh.
you how to
Yes.
behave.
Absolutely.
If you do, like, nature, right? Animals,
Yes.
like, just slowing the freak down.
Yes.
Or getting in a weird position like downward dog, or like being upside down on like the jungle gyms, right? Like all
Yeah,
those things that
silly.
help reset our brain
Yep.
and just play.
Yes.
Do you find time to play? And if you do, how?
So that is something that I struggle a lot with. When I was little, I was like a little grown up.
Oh, okay. You grew
for
up,
various reasons.
like, did you grow up too soon? You just had to be
Yeah,
mature?
just I've been a little empath all my life, so
Okay.
I think that has
So it's
something
just
to
you
do
on
with
your
it.
own.
And also, you know, I started babysitting when I was like 10 for my family. Too. So I had a lot of responsibilities when I was really young. So, you know, and even like in my 20s, I was always the responsible one. If everyone's partying and drinking, like even if I'm drinking, I'm still paying attention to everything.
Yeah,
so,
I totally get that. That was me too.
yeah. So kind of being playful is tough for me. So
Is it?
I find ways. So little silly things. When I find something that lights me up, Snoopy underwear, Care Bear pajama pants, like,
Love it.
you know, or
Yeah.
when I see something that does bring up that little girl and that energy kind of comes out, I take advantage of it. So the past, say, month or two, I feel like that has been kind of opening up. We recently went down to the beach in Marshfield where I grew up, and there's this bridge by the beach, and we would jump off as kids.
Is it one of those ones with like not the deck, but you know what I'm talking about, like the bridge and then people
The
like
railing,
hop over?
yeah,
The railing.
yes.
Ah!
So
How fantastic.
my son, who's 10, we were there with one of my best friend's lifelong, and her daughter, who's my godchild. And so we went to the bridge, and my son's like gonna jump, and he's like, okay, I'm so scared, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so he jumped, and then I'm standing there and I'm looking. I'm like, I have to jump this bridge right now. I have to, so I was probably around his age when I jumped it, and I'm like, I gotta do this. So I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at my goddaughter, I'm looking at my friend, I'm like, I think I need to jump this bridge. And everyone's like, I'll do it, we'll do it, let's go. So I climbed over. I'm like halfway over. I got my leg almost going over. I'm like, I'm going to fall off this.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay, so graceful, do I get off? Do I go? And I did. I went over. So my son, myself, my goddaughter, all three of us jumped at the same time.
Oh,
I have yet to see the video. My friend recorded us. But we all did it. And I'm like, I didn't know how much I needed that. And I just, it reawakened that part of me. So since then, I've just been really trying to allow myself to seek out things like this or do some other things slightly out of my comfort zone.
So you just said something a moment ago that I feel like we have to go back to because I wonder if you could provide some insight for people. And it's something I'm learning about, and I'm not sure if I thought I knew more about it or just like forgot about it. But so talking about your inner child. So I have some different healers that I work with, and I'm all about like continual work, right? Even though I've done so much work on myself, like this,
never ends.
There's always things we can do, and it will really help us in our life if we work on things. So talk to me about working on your inner child. Like I've had some different people with different theories on how you can do it, but I will say when I am taught to go back to the 6-year-old self, the 8-year-old self, and really tap into it and really go back and then see a part and then like, oh, like what it meant to me then, and then how it has affected my relationships, right?
Yes.
Or my paths or my patterns,
yes,
right? If we want to disrupt patterns that don't serve us and then will help us have a happier life, right? Like I feel like society, like more people need to know about tapping into the inner child and what that looks like over time, that it's not just, you don't just tap into it once and that little 7-year-old feels so much better forever, right? So what do you know about inner child work and what that looks like?
So I know a fair bit about it just from receiving my own energy work. So I do various types of energy work for over 20 years. I was 23 when I first took polarity therapy, which is one form of healing. So I'm 46 now.
I'm just learning about polarity because
wonderful.
I did a Reiki session twice with a new person, and they also did polarity. So
it's a beautiful form.
Pretend like we know nothing about it. Give us some info.
Well, I want to answer the inner child stuff. So I do many different types of energy work, and they all just work on the physical body, our energetic body, our spiritual body. So there's many different forms that you can go to. And what I always just suggest to people is go to who you're drawn to, who you feel safe, and who you trust.
Super important.
Very, very important. Certainly, see what their experience level is, and get a referral if you can. But to me, all paths lead to healing. So if polarity sounds cool to you, check it out. If something else sounds cool to you, check that out. And at the end of the day, again, it's all going to lead to the healing. And a lot of these different modalities can help you work with the inner child. So the inner child is really just that part of us that's still kind of time-stamped in those childhood years. So a lot of our limiting beliefs, a lot of our belief system as a whole really all forms by the time we're like 8 to 10 years old. So a lot of the things that are structured in our brain kind of formed in those times. So we can tap in and go back to some of that stuff, which you can do with various practitioners.
Right.
Hypnosis, things like that. But a lot of energy workers will work with the inner child as well. So you can go see a practitioner to help you through that. And it's really nice, especially in the beginning, until you get in touch with that part of yourself. And then you can kind of tap into that aspect on your own as well, doing some of these things like we've been talking about, right? You love Snoopy. Maybe you need to go get some Snoopy underwear. I don't know.
That is
but
a great idea.
right?
Maybe I do.
You know,
My puppy keeps chewing my underwear.
Oh, there you go.
So maybe I do need to get some
anyway,
Snoopy,
right?
and maybe he'll leave that alone.
Right. But little things like this, like what characters did you love when you were a kid? What things did you love to do? What symbols represent that time from your life? What fun thing do you want to go do, but something in your brain is saying, grow up, stop doing that, act like an adult. What's the matter with you?
Right.
You know, it's that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that we have to shut down and allow ourselves to be free and play. So sometimes it's just whose voice is that's telling you, grow up, quit acting like that, act your age, be mature, you know.
Right,
so is that a parent voice, a grandparent voice, a teacher voice, like kind of figuring out some of those things.
Makes
or
sense.
just saying that to
Yeah.
when those voices come up and
Right.
doing the thing.
It can be hard for a lot of adults, though, to be spontaneous or to just be
Yes.
fun in the moment. Like,
Yes.
many people do get like tunnel vision or like in serious mode. And I feel like when kids are around, that kids help spark the fun,
Yes.
you know,
And
and the play.
when you're around a kid, it's almost giving you the permission to be able to play because you're doing it for them. And
makes
sometimes
sense.
we all have a problem with doing the thing for us. But if we're doing the thing for them,
Yeah.
it's like a brain hack, right?
Yeah.
So find a kid, borrow a kid, you know, grab a niece, grab a nephew. You know, if you don't have little kids around you, don't go steal one. Ask permission.
That's a good perspective because I was always used to playing and being around kids because I taught elementary school for 25 years up until last year.
So
I was
Yes.
my day in, day out, 5 days a week. That's what I did. I got to be with kids and was so blessed and lucky to always be around
Yes.
that innocentness and that like wanting, that desire and need to play, right?
Yeah.
So like I guess I'm not like your typical adult when I think of that. So that's a cool perspective to think about.
It is.
Like that, like allowing yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, it's like when I find or come across something that naturally sparks it in me, right? I know I keep going back to the stupid underwear, but when I'm in CVS and I walked down that aisle in March and there was all the stuff on sale, you know, that's where I got the underwear too.
Yeah.
You know, I grabbed it right then in that moment. You know, when I was in wherever that I found my Care Bear jammy pants, it was like in that moment, I need to get these. I need these. So then I have them. Then I can put them on and be reminded of that part of myself.
Yeah. And there's visuals, right? There's people that are visuals and just having that visual, like simple things. So let's talk about some things we can do to give people ideas of like what else we do besides like buying things, right? So like for me, yesterday I rearranged my day. So a couple girlfriends were trying to do a beach day. It ended up the coordinator of it was just her and me. But I rearranged my day. I did a networking thing at night. I did some calls in the afternoon. So I got to go to the beach early in the day.
Awesome.
But I still worked. And then I still had this playtime. And I was probably much more productive and better at the work I did because I had the beach time first, the relaxing and the connection time with my friend. And we really enjoyed just one-on-one time. And like for me, water, like when I'm by water, it recharges me. It takes the negative away.
Yes.
So I have a pool in my backyard, blessed for that. But that's new to us. We've only had it a few years. So either being in running water or being at the beach or hopping in the water helps. Even like, I think so simple, but some people get stuck in their routine of work. If you just force yourself to take your break outside or walk for 15 minutes on your lunch break, eat and walk for part of it, right? Get the sunshine so you don't feel like you were just inside all day.
Nature is so healing to us. I mean, we have to remember it's not been that long in the history of humanity that we've been confined inside and that we grind like this. And yes, back in the day, people were grinding. They were grinding their wheat and their food and all of that stuff. But it was different. But they were out in nature. They had their hands on their food. They had their hand, whether it's plants, animals, you know, whatever, they were actively participating in their sustenance, and they are just being able to be alive as a human. Everyone had to do the work themselves on their farm, on their land, you know, hunting, gathering, all of that stuff. So us getting into nature is healing in and of itself.
You just gave me a
we can
reminder from Italy. So I went to the Amalfi Coast, and on our last night there, we're only there 2 nights. On our last night there, I met this, my friend and I, we met 2 guys, but I met this guy who ends up, like, he was the happiest person on earth almost, you know? So I find out what he does, what Mr. Happy Salvatore does. He's a farmer.
Yes.
So he had lemon trees, he had tomato plants, he had like the whole everything. And that's what he does every day. Like, he works hard and he takes care of his crops, but he's outside on the Amalfi Coast, like living his dream of being a lemon tree farmer.
Absolutely. And I find more joy going out into my garden than anything. And even if I'm in the worst mood, I go out there, and if I'm out there for an hour and I'm still in a bad mood, I need longer to be out there, and I need to just stop. So sometimes I have the greatest time. Like lately, I've been watching the little bumblebees go around, and
it's fascinating, isn't it?
It is to just sit there and watch a bumblebee for 10 minutes, and like they land on a flower, and they're heavier than the flower, and they like plop down, like, and I'm just laughing.
But it slows you down.
Yes,
it slows you down and puts you in nature, and it gives you like that space to be in nature for longer than just a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so important.
And that's really one of the simplest ways. Stick your hand in some dirt, put your bare feet on the ground, grab a hula hoop, look for a cool rock. Like, it doesn't, I have way too many rocks in my house, but, and even stuff like that lights me up. They're talking about, little kids, I got a house full of rocks. And I'm like, I don't know, my house full of rocks is all mine.
Oh, I love it.
Well, my son likes them too, but I definitely am more of the rock collector in my house.
That's awesome. But it probably taps into something in your little childhood.
I grew up in Brant Rock.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
There you go. How fabulous.
Yeah. And I'll even I have a whole pit, my fire pit patio is like a 20 by 20 square full of rocks, So even then I'll be sitting there digging through the rocks in my backyard. Like, oh, look at this cool one. Or pull some weeds. Like, I don't know. Usually I do that when I'm feeling a little ragey. Just pull them out. Yeah. It's very cleansing for the soul.
Energy. That's good. That's good. You're a published author. Tell me about the book, the children's book that you wrote.
So, yes, my children's book, it's called Many Colors of Me, Breathing in a Rainbow of Feelings. So it's actually...
Breathing in a Rainbow of Feelings. Okay.
Yes. It's actually a guided meditation for kids. And you go through the chakras. So there's Noah, and named after my son.
We're going to need that in our reading library for our We Do Care Healing Center.
Absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
He's sad, it's rainy, and then he sees the rainbow, and then he goes and gets filled up by all the colors and their power words.
So is it an easy way to teach the kids the chakras and the energy blocks and how you can
so we don't really get into that. So it's very simple. And it's repetitive also. So just one example is for every color, it starts off like, I breathe in the color red right through my nose. So you take in the deep breath down through my body and out through my toes.
Oh my goodness. Amazing.
And then the red fills them up. So every chakra has 3 power words. So we don't get into these are chakras or anything like that.
And they don't need to know that.
It's just very simple.
But you're teaching them tools.
You breathe through all the colors of the rainbow.
I wish I had those tools as a kid. Seriously. I was such a deep empath. I was getting sick all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody knew.
And that's kind of why I came up with writing the book. To really just get that out there into the world. So I'm hoping to get further reach and to get it further out in the world and hopefully picked up by a traditional publishing company.
That's incredible. And we will share the link so that people can order it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Fantastic. So good. All right. So joy, optimism in you, living a life where you don't get overburdened with all the chaos that happens outside of our homes. Let's just wrap up. Like, I'm thinking we have a month left of summer, right? And as people are feeling that, like, I didn't do the things I thought I was going to do yet, we still have some time. I'm going to encourage people to get out in nature. I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
Go for a swim. Get yourself by a body of water that you'll enjoy. But also, like, connection. Just one-on-one conversation. Stop the text. Like, pick up a phone. Make an appointment with your friend. Like, set time on a calendar to actually see your people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
What are you thinking? What do you think would help people?
Yeah, I mean, hey, buy the Snoopy underwear if you want.
Buy the really cool character underwear.
Right?
I love it.
Go pick out a fun rock outside. Get your hands or your feet in some dirt. And,
Love it.
Just remember, it's small, simple joys.
Yeah.
Watch a bumblebee.
And it's doable. And it's about the
Yes.
decisions that you make and not just giving up and not just giving in if something doesn't go just right or whatever. Like wing it sometimes.
Yeah,
Go with the
absolutely.
flow, right? Keep your energy high and listen to really loud music and sing along.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you.
Join me in September for Coming Home to You the next round.
Yes. And thank you so much for coming. We love
Anytime.
having you. Yeah.
Thanks.
See you all soon. Remember to have joy in your life. Take care, guys.